Jesse, the Sacramento Latina, and I'm with Mario Ledesma,
hey guys.
owner of Pal Norte Work in Western Wear. And today we're going to tap a little bit into his story to get to know him, his family story, and the story of the store, really. So, Mario, cuéntame, ¿de dónde eres tú? ¿De dónde es tu familia?
My family's from Guanajuato.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're originally from a small town called El Salitre de los Aguilares.
Oh,
very small. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you first gen? Is your family first gen?
I'm first generation
You're
Mexican.
first generation.
Yep.
Gotcha. And what is it that influenced you to start your store?
To be honest, well, my parents used to actually sell out of their car.
Really?
Like a lot of the colchas, mexicanas, you know, the ones with the tigers.
With the tigers,
yeah. And then my dad started moving on to like more of the Western, where he started getting like botas, los trajes, you know, with the avestruz.
Yeah.
So he was selling out his garage. I mean, not his garage, his car.
His car.
I was like 10 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so we drive around all Sacramento.
And you'd be with them?
I'd be with them. I mean, we didn't have babysitters. So.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of like start slowly growing up. But I never thought I was going to be doing this.
Really?
This didn't happen until like fast forward to pre-COVID, a year before COVID.
Okay.
And by then my parents were already retired. They didn't want to do it no more.
Yeah.
My dad had a couple boots there and I was like, hey, you mind if I just sell them for you online?
Yeah.
I offer up. He's like, yeah, it's fine. No worries. All right. Put the post there for a year. Nothing.
Really?
Nothing. And then COVID hit. By that time, I got sent home to work from home.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like literally when COVID hit, I woke up to like 5 messages saying, hey, is this still available? It's like, it's a year old. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's still available. You know?
It's still here.
So, yeah. So I was like, yeah, okay. You mind doing the drop off? Yeah, I'll drop it off. No problem. And then little by little, just people started messaging me and I started telling my pops, hey, you know, I would give him the money, obviously. And then I was like, hey, do you have more? He's like, nah, I mean, I don't want to do it no more. I was like, okay, do you mind if I do it? He's like, yeah, I'll give you the contact. Hopefully the wholesaler still sells.
Okay.
And then like that, just slowly reinvesting, started doing drop-offs daily. People would come to the garage, pull up. Yeah,
so you went from being a little kid, going with your parents, selling around Sacramento. Is that where?
Yeah, just all Sac. All of Sacramento. I mean, we're talking from South Sac to West Sac to East Sac. It was all over.
So y'all had a good community of like loyal clients and customers.
It's crazy because like my parents literally started with 4 colchas in the back of the car. Wow. And their story is even crazier because like we used to rent this duplex. And so the landlord, he was a wholesaler of those colchas.
Really?
And one day I think he was late to meet up with like one of his buyers. Okay. And it's like, hey, do you mind if they meet me up at the duplex? Okay. And my mom was like, yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah. And so she started kind of seeing, and the family was Latino too. They were Mexican. So she goes, hey, is this really like, is it good money? She goes, you can make money, like we make a living off of it. Yeah. And then the guy was like, hey, try it. I'll give you 4 on consignment. Really? And then next thing you know, it's just like she started going to houses, people that she knew. She started with people she knew, and boom, boom, boom.
And then it rolled from there.
It rolled from there. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure they had their struggles too, but it's, of course. I mean, as far back as I can remember, I don't remember my dad working as much like on a ranch versus started selling ropa.
So he was more like an entrepreneur.
My mom was.
Your mom was.
My dad was always working. Gotcha. But like my memory, as far back as I can remember him, it was just very little bit. He used to work at a rancho here in Elk Grove. Wow. So I remember a little bit of that, but then most of my memory, my childhood memory, is like in the back of a car.
In the back, going around Sacramento. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And that transpired all throughout your like young adult life.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have babysitters, and then I wasn't like, I was thinking around 14. That's when I was like, oh, they're like, you can stay at home now. Wow. You know, and so even then, sometimes I would go with them, like even past then, because I'd be bored at home. I mean, we didn't have internet back then. So,
so do you feel like, you know, being a little kid and being in this environment or atmosphere, even seeing your parents be hustlers, because to me that's like a hustler mentality. You're going out there, encontrando el pan de cada día, you know, like that. Did that
really what they did.
Bit?
So I don't. That's the crazy thing. I never thought I'd be doing what they were doing. And there was nothing against them. I just thought, because at that time, like once I started 15, 16, I started working for an uncle in janitorial. Okay. And I was like, because he asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to come help me out? I was like, yeah. And then slowly started getting because I didn't have allowance, so slowly started making a little bit of money like that. And then by the time I hit 18, 19, started working at a fast food joint. Yeah. And then after that, I got my pharmacy tech license, so I started working at a pharmacy.
Nice, okay.
And then from the pharmacy, I started working at a claims correction office for like pharmacy claims.
Got it.
I mean, I've been doing that. I'm still doing that.
You're still doing that?
I'm still doing that because I work from home.
Wow.
So I just bring my laptop here and I do both things at once.
Talk about hustler.
Because it's, I mean, if I can, I'm going to do it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right. So, opportunities out there.
But it wasn't, I didn't realize like how big this could be until I started like really hustling and falling in love with it, really. Because I started really falling in love with it when I was like on the road back and forth.
Yeah.
And it wasn't crazy drives, but it was like, okay, I'm going to go get a little bit of bread here, a little bit of bread there. And so I started really loving it. And then to see my parents like, oh, who would have thought you would have been doing what we did? And I'm like, and then it started kind of building that fire in me too.
Oh my gosh, so it's a really like a full circle moment for your parents and for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I've been around the boots for so long. And I mean, if you look at my kid pictures, like I'm got the trajes on. They
dressed you up. Yeah,
they would dress me up, and it's kind of crazy because you're like, you think about little moments in your life, you're like, okay, this was kind of meant to be. Because you think, because even now, like I look at little moments, like at one point I lost my job, and I remember I was like, hey, and my boy gave me like a job for construction.
Yeah,
it's like, I got you, bro. Just all right, cool. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need boots. So I put on some work boots. I told my pops, hey, you mind if I borrow some work boots? He goes, no, go ahead, put them on. And like everybody at the job site would be like, oh, you just got those boots? I'm like, yeah. Like, where'd you get them at? I was like, oh, my dad sells them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it kind of like, and I started thinking about little moments like that. I'm like, oh, this was always kind of there in the backbone, you know?
Like a symbolism, like a foreshadowing.
Yeah, like, hey, you're gonna, do this. And I'm like, yes. And so when I started doing it, I just started noticing like just a different change in my life too.
Yeah, it's kind of like an alignment, like almost like this is kind of like your call, this is your mission in a way, right? And I think it's much more than just selling or much more than just being entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. Because I do believe that through your store, you build community. Yeah. And a little while ago, you were telling me about how you created connections and relationships with your clients. Tell me a little bit about that. How did that like come naturally, I guess? I
mean, at first, obviously, you're like a little, how do I put it? You're kind of a little like,
reserved,
iffy. Yeah, reserved, because you're like, I don't know, like, I don't really, especially when you're at home, selling from your home, you're like, I don't really want to tell. But then you just start realizing, you're like, okay, these are construction workers, dudes who are working hard. Like, a lot of these men are just working hard. Like, they just got off work and they're tired. And then so I'm like, hey, man, I had a chair there. Hey, sit down. Don't worry about it. Trying it on. The next thing you know, we just start talking as they're trying while they're talking while they're trying on the shoe. Yeah. So it's like, okay, and then you just start building that confidence, and then you just start realizing, oh, everybody has a story. Yeah. And so I'm kind of like, what's your story, And so that's, especially because I think about my dad, he has a story, and it's like, okay, he has a story, I know you have a story. Yeah.
Everybody has a story, yeah. Right, and when you said that, when you worked in construction and then started selling the construction, it reminds me of my dad, because my dad's a construction worker. He's been a construction worker since he got to this country and is a construction worker to this day, more than like 29 years in the industry, right? Okay, and as a little kid, I remember that he'd take us, like, I don't know, to buy his seasonal boots. Because, las botas se acaban. Yeah. And I was always like, why do you need new boots? Like, but, they'd crease, like, llenas de cemento. And, we'd go to shops like these, and it felt, like, very familiar, because you walk in, and it's, like, the music. This is the music we listened to growing up in carne asadas, right? Most of the people, if anything, all the people spoke Spanish. Like your tío, like your tía, like your abuelito, your abuelita. Yeah. It almost felt like visiting people that he really knew, and then walking out the store as a little kid and thinking that he knew them. They're like, no, he was just the person de la tienda. Yeah. I was like, oh, dope. Like, así se habla la comunidad latina, right? Exactly. Like, con confianza. They treat you like if you were family. And I feel like that's what you did with your clients.
That's what I continue to try to do, porque a veces viene gente, and it's fine, no van a comprar nada, that's cool, but and we sit down and talk, and a lot of times vienen señores a saludarme, like, hey, ¿cómo te ha ido, amigo? I'm like, good. And we start talking about just life.
Life, of all ages, I assume.
Yeah, of all ages. I mean, I got the oldest guy is, tiene 70 años. Y viene, se va a cortar el pelo, viene para acá, se sienta un rato. Oh, te viene a saludar. That's good. It's always good. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful because I'm not expecting you to buy nothing, like, and we've already built a friendship. Yeah. So you come and say hi to me, that's more than enough. And then to know that you're still good, that's more than enough. Yeah.
It's much more than just a business transaction. No. Yep. You seem to me like a business owner that truly cares about his community, about his clientele, and is not just money hungry or thinking about the sales, right? No. For you, it's much more than that.
Yeah, because all right, so a lot of people get like, oh, well, how much do you make? How much this? It's like, I mean, I make enough to where I pay the bills, take some home, and that's good. Yeah. And that's really, I've never wanted to get rich off this. Yeah. You know, because I just wanted to be able to support my family with this. Yeah. Eventually where I could quit my job and I can do this full time, and I'm happy doing this full time.
That's wonderful to hear, because I think that in this society, we oftentimes could get lost and we lose sight of what really matters. Yeah. And what you said right now is really beautiful, because you're like, I want to make enough to just support my family. But I think what's even more beautiful is that you love what you do. Oh, yeah. and there is so much power behind what you do. So I want to talk a little bit about the name, Pal Norte, work in Western. Where? Why the name, and what does it mean to you? Okay, so a lot of people ask, like, and I didn't really think about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, you don't know. So, like, when they ask me, because I'm like, they're like, what does Pal Norte mean? I'm like, it means to the north. Yeah. And so, I don't know, maybe you guys know. I think a lot of people my age know, and obviously, my parents and people their age know. Pal Norte means to the north. Essentially, a lot of immigrants, that's some of those words that they uttered, that they're going to the north. To me, that just means like I'm going to the north for a better life, to give my kids a better future. And essentially, I think when I can't remember when I thought about the name, but I was like, that's what I'm gonna name a store if I ever have it. Yeah. And so I just, now that I think about it, I'm like, it's a name where if you look at it, you're like, it brings back memories and kind of gives you that, like, I remember why I'm here. Especially in a time like right now, because it's like so much going on. And I mean, obviously, the economy isn't doing that great. Right. But you look at the name or you hear that, you're like, I remember why I'm here. Yeah. That's beautiful. And I do want to tap into that a little bit, because Pal Norte is so synonymous in the immigrant community to, como dijiste tú, in search of a better life. But more than that, it's a deeper story about immigrants migrating from Latin America. I'm Mexican. You were Mexican from Guanajuato. Yeah. My family's from Jalisco. Oh, nice. And I'm first gen, first gen, born and raised in the United States. Are you first gen as well?
I'm first gen, born and raised in the United States, yes.
And I identify as Mexican American, Chicana, and Latina. But with that being said, Pal Norte, I remember being a little kid and listening to tíos and tías being like, oh, se fue pa'l norte. Yeah. Oh, le llegó el norte, or lo cruzó el norte. Lo cruzó el norte. Right? And you're a little kid, you really
queríamos norte, when they would like be mad about how hard it was out here. Queríamos norte.
Yeah, right. No, literally. So this term, Pal Norte, is so deeply rooted in immigrant stories. And I think it's amazing that you named your store that. And I think that when people come in here, it's like what you said, it reminds them why they're here. Why they, struggled, why they sacrificed and left their families in their home countries, why they continue here and face, stereotypes, racism. And Yani se diga ahorita with the Trump administration that is being extremely harsh with our communities. And it's really working overtime to break apart families, deport innocent people. And I believe that a way to combat that is by doing what Mario is doing, which is building community, which is harboring a safe space for conversations where people could come in here and talk about their migration stories, why they left their home countries, or se encuentran a un camarada que es del mismo pueblo, and that brings such sense of pride. Yeah. Like a funny story to this. So my family, my dad is from Zapopan, from a pueblo called La Venta del Astillero, and they say now that hay una mini Venta del Astillero here in California, because the amount of people that have immigrated from La Venta del Astillero in Jalisco to the United States, specifically here in the Sacramento region, has grown literally twice-fold. Wow. So there's more descendants, se podría decir, de La Venta del Astillero now in Sacramento than there probably is even back in his town.
Yeah, back in his town, that's crazy.
Which is crazy. And coming to the point of building community, right? Your store is doing just that. Your clientele is doing just that. And I want to tap in a little bit into what advice do you have for people that want to start a business, specifically first gen, because we know las barreras, we know the struggles, we know the lack of resource and information. Personally, I don't come from a family that are entrepreneurs. And I believe, well, your parents were entrepreneurs themselves, right? So you'd be considered, I guess, first gen U.S. entrepreneur, but second generation within your family encompassing, right? But with that being said, not a lot of us know the route to take, where to start. What is the advice that you'd give for people?
So I think one of the best advice I got was like just if you can do as much research as possible. But aside from that, you have to love it. Like a lot of times I feel like, especially because I've tried it in the past where you hear this great business model or something and then you get baited into it and there's no love for it. Two, you don't really understand it. So I think as long as you understand it and you love it, you'll do great. And then from there, just kind of work. Everybody wants to start at the top. Yeah. I'm still not at the top. I don't even know where I'm at, but I was right here. Now I'm kind of here. Yeah. All right. So my goal is to eventually get to the top, and I'll be, if I do. And that's all ifs. But essentially, I think it's taking it one day at a time. First of all, figure out what it is you want to do. Yeah. And figure out why. I think also ask why. Am I just in it because it's like money? It's like, okay, well, are you going to love it? Because a lot of times, there's amazing paying jobs, but you don't love it.
Exactly.
So I think also take that step, figuring out what it is that you like, fall in love with it, and just pursue that hustle. I think sometimes we get that wind of hustle, and that thing is unstoppable. It's like a drug. You're just like, let me go.
Just spiral up.
Let me go. Yeah. So and I think, and there's gonna be ups and downs. There's times where it's slow. There's times where it's great, and I think you just have to figure out how to get through the slow days and slow weeks, and then you'll be fine. I think one of the best advices also that like my mom gave me was, if you could do it as much as you can out of pocket. The last thing you want to do is like everything you see, it's small, but I did it out of pocket.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's because it's, at least I know that everything I own is mine.
Is yours, exactly.
And so it's beautiful because it's just been kind of like doubling, and I've just been kind of reinvesting. Yeah.
Congratulations for that. Yeah. I think that, taking it a step deeper and a step further for you and your story and your store, and besides building comunidad and lealtad and, camaraderie, you're definitely an example of building wealth, because the truth of the matter is, and facts are that Latinos, especially, children of immigrants or immigrants themselves, there's a big but small population within itself, right, that are trying to break through, to break the generational curses, and are trying to build that first generation wealth, so that we could go ahead and pass that on to our children and so on and so forth. And let's not forget that the reason we're able to build that generational wealth is because of those immigrants that decided to cross, come here, leave their families, sacrifice, face discrimination, racism. Many of them even faced probably deportation in the past, and decided to come back because this is where their children were, this is where their wives and husbands were. And if it really weren't for those parents that decided to leave everything behind and come to El Norte for such of a better life, like stories like Mario, stories like mine, and some of the people I know wouldn't exist. Yeah. Right?
I agree. And I think a lot of times we forget how, there's people that crossed and never made it. That's something that we have to consider too. Like, our parents crossed, made it, and there's a lot of parents that didn't. So there's a lot of kids that didn't, and that's another reason why I named it that, because there's so much different meanings behind it, behind El Norte.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes we do forget those stories of the people that weren't able to make it, and muchos desaparecidos también, right?
I agree.
I think that your store, the title of your business, your story, your upbringing, everything all put together is a story of resiliency, and it's a kind reminder to not forget where you come from. Also that in this country, you could find comunidad. In this country, anything is possible. And more than anything, we should stand up with each other, support one another, reach out to one another. If you have questions on how to start a business, on how to start a vlog, on how to do X, Y, and Z, there are people out here that are willing to help you. Latino or not Latino, right? But I do believe that within the Latino community, we could find that support. Y el amor, right? I think el amor es muy importante. Fuera envidias, fuera being selfish.
And there's a lot within the community of the envidia. Y'all got to put a stop to that.
Have you? I'm sure you've experienced some of that.
I feel like I have, but honestly, but it's really been more like, I wouldn't even say from even some family members. I think.
Of course, I've heard stories like that.
And it's crazy because I've had family members who don't reach out and say, "Hey man, congrats," or "Hey, how you been? I heard you got a store," but nothing. Yeah. But I've had clients who didn't even know I had a store yet, but they bought from me like maybe 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Came next door to get a haircut, and they're like,
here.
Like, you're here? Like, yeah. And I'm like, man, congrats. They give me a hug. They dap me up. And it's like, you feel the love and energy, you know? And I think that's which is crazy to me. Like,
especially from a stranger, right?
From a stranger. Like, you find some of the, like, most, how do I put it? The most welcoming and loving personalities from a stranger rather than your own blood. And I think
and I think that's something that I wonder too sometimes, right? And sometimes we like to put it off as like, well, maybe they've had a heart upbringing. Maybe they had their own traumas. Maybe they see in you what they can't see for themselves. It's the projection. But I think that moving forward with the right foot and with good intentions in heart and in mind, todo a su tiempo, and, you know, God willing, tus sueños se cumplen.
Yep.
And again, returning to the concept of confiding in one another como comunidad, right? There is so much knowledge. There is so many hardworking people that you can find within the community. Like, I bet you, I know that I have a tío or even like my suegro that would drop anything to be like, let me help you put your floors.
Yeah.
Let me help you install your lights at no cost to you.
And I've had customers who've offered that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Amazing.
Like, I mean, I remember I had a leak in the house, and I was like, dude came in, I told him about it. He goes, oh, I'll go check it out. Go in, check it out. And I was like, how much? He was like, no, don't worry about it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, no, I got to give you something. No, don't worry about it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, and it's crazy because you find that within the community. And like you said, you have a deal or you have somebody who knows somebody who's like, I'll do it. No problem. Yeah. And it's like, and it's because you don't want to get the job done for free, but it's beautiful to have that because financially it helps us out a lot.
Yes,
and then hey, don't worry about it. Next time I got you too. Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
And that's how it should be, you know. But sometimes, unfortunately, it's not like that. But we have to work to continue that system too.
Yeah. And I do want to congratulate you again for your store, but also because to me it seems like the more you get, the more you like to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it's all about. Giving back to your community. Even como tú dijiste, cuando viene un camarada, right? And he's tired from work, needs to probably get some new work boots. With a little charla, that's all he needs to pick up his spirits, go back home to his family, end the day well, and start all over again.
Yeah. So another thing is, last thing I want is for it to just be a business transaction with I want, you know, if we can just talk a little bit, that to me that's worth more.
Yeah.
But I mean, and sometimes it is just a business transaction. That's okay. I mean, but essentially, I love it when it's more than a business transaction.
Yeah.
Because I get to know you, you get to know me. Next time you come back, we get to know each other a little more.
Yeah, and that's the heart of your business. That's the heart of what you want to do.
And that's how my business really has been growing. Is por más que nada, you know, palabra. I think I mean, because I don't advertise on social media. Right. The only thing I really have going is Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace was basically the start.
Wow.
And it still continues. And it's because a lot of raza who don't have Instagram or don't have, you know, they don't know how to use
fancy
Google.
Apps
they don't
or
know
whatever.
how to use Google.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not good
but they know how to use Facebook.
Exactly.
And it's really what's been keeping my business growing.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's impressive. And I think knowing how to gauge your audience and your clientele is really important. And one thing you really mentioned here is, Facebook it's a good hub for older generation, you know, tios and tias. I know my mom and tios and tias are up in Facebook all the time.
No, it's honestly, like, if you're not on Facebook Marketplace, especially as a Latino, I think you're missing out.
Wow.
There is a lot of OGs
free
in there.
Advice here, y'all.
There's a lot of OGs who would love to figure out where it is your business is at, and they'll pull up.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I want to talk a little bit into, you were featured in LA Times.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? How did that come about?
So I think it was around the time when the Trump administration had just rolled out the plan of deportation, I think, and so then we were doing that no work on Mondays.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no work Monday. So that hit to me, and I was like, I have to say something. At least let me just post something what's in my heart, you know. And I posted something on Instagram on Pal Norte's Instagram, and it was just really first, it was like introduction to why I named the business Pal Norte, and then also like it just gave a quick, really what was in my heart at the time. And then I got a message from LA Times. And obviously at first I was like, are you really LA Times? Right? And so they're like, oh, can we get your number? Yeah, I gave them my number. And they just started interviewing me over the phone.
Wow.
And then to see that little piece of article, like with the name and I was like, oh, that's amazing.
It's a full circle moment for you. And that's really how, I mean, besides that, but I think that is a huge marker of how you know that you're making an impact, right? With the name of your business, with your business itself. I want to ask you, do you feel in your experience with your clientele that comes in, for the most part, they're politically aligned with your view of politics as far as being anti-deportation, anti-immigrant, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. How do you feel, and this is a personal question that you can or cannot answer, how do you feel about the Latinos, especially hijas de inmigrantes that voted for Trump? What is your opinion on that?
I mean, my opinion really is, if you voted for Trump just on base fact that you want Latinos or immigrants, and even any immigrant really, to be deported, that's kind of crazy. Because it's like you were basically turning your back on your mom and dad. Right. And that's the way I see it.
Right.
And if your mom and dad are legal citizens, that's great. I mean, that's amazing.
That's the goal for everyone.
That's the goal for everyone. But it's just, to me, it's crazy to see that. You know how, I've seen it firsthand, how it destroys families.
Absolutely.
You know, like you're talking about some people have kids. Right. What happens to the kids, you know?
Right.
Yeah, and it's just, to me, that it breaks my heart to just see and hear it sometimes.
Yeah, the separation of families, it's atrocious.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. And I do want to say that you are making a difference in the political scene, because not only with the name Pan Norte, but I do feel that LA Times article was really a window to thinking far more beyond just the store and what you sell. It's the presence of Latino, Latina, entrepreneurship, business owners, but also we are children of immigrants, right?
Yep.
And these are real life stories. In this case, Mario's story is a success story. And it's furthermore just a manifestation of everybody that came before us, the trajectory of immigrants that came to this country. So I do want to congratulate you for that. I honestly, it's very empowering, it's very moving, and it's very courageous, because a lot of Latina business owners are afraid to make a stance against Trump or the administration policies out of fear to lose clientele, out of fear to lose money, out of fear for backlash. But I say, you business owners are in a even a bigger amplified platform, right, to take a stance, because you have a lot of social transactions with your clients. There's a lot of exchange of words, exchange of stories. And I'm sure you know of a bunch of stories of people that have firsthand suffered from Trump's administration. And I think that it's important to keep this in mind when you're out there in the community looking for a shop or store to shop at. I always say this: let's help our community build that generational wealth. And instead of going to a non-Latino shop to get the very same thing you could get at the Latino shop, hay que apoyarnos, hay que apoyar a la comunidad a crecer, because el dicho de hoy por ti, mañana por mí is very true. It's very true, especially in this industry, I believe. Right? And influence you all to come and visit Pal Norte Work in Western Wear in the heart of South Sacramento. If you don't know, go on Instagram. We're going to tag the handle. And Mario is very nice, very friendly. I remember reaching out to him first. Very responsive, so thank you for that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you. And nada, te deseamos muchísima suerte, muchísimo éxito. Y que Dios te siga bendiciendo con tu negocio y tus metas. Y que a través de tu trabajo tú sigas bendiciendo también a tus clientes con esos ánimos, con el apoyo que les das, and really just the safe space that you cultivate here in your store. So thank you so much, Mario.